Hello everyone, I'm Happery and welcome to the first ever progress video on my hardcore Ironman. Alright, let's get into it. Now, you guys are probably thinking, wait, this is the first episode and he's already in Priv. Let me very quickly recap how I got here, but while we do that, I'm gonna get back to harping, otherwise this would be too much XP waste. So, to start from the very beginning, I basically created this hardcore Ironman about a year ago after maxing my main. But I only actually started playing on it in September 2018, so just over 4 months now. And my goal when I started playing again was to max the account as a hardcore Ironman, so no dying, by getting all skills to level 99 at the same time. My goal is to get as many broadcasts as possible, one after another, for every single skill, so ideally that's 27 broadcasts. The only exception to this that I'm willing to make is Constitution, since it's pretty hard to keep that one under control really. Initially I never thought of recording any progress, but I'm going to try and run you through what I've been up to and how I started out this adventure. The most important and noticeable thing I did was to start by doing as many quests as possible. Personally, I like questing and I know many people hate it, but it's so good to do them as early as possible. The XP rewards let you skip so many levels, which saves so much time. It's basically like two birds with one stone. The quest is complete, so you never have to do it again, and you skip hours and hours of work on low level training methods. Every time I got the requirements of a quest done, I would almost immediately go do it. The semi-long-term goal here was of course to get to the elven city of Privdeness. I don't have much footage of the early game, but as you can see in this picture I took, I got 200 quest points at the same time as 1000 total level, so it's pretty freaking early on in the game. In between quests I had some skills I wanted to grind out to a pretty high level. Agility was one of the first I trained, all the way to level 75 in one go, mostly on Apatol, because as a hardcore Ironman I don't want to do the Wildy course, and of course the empty throne room. Rune crafting until 80 in Runespan, woodcutting to 75 on Acadia trees in Menethos, and both mining and fishing up to around 70 to 75 in Menethos as well. A pretty odd grind that I didn't really plan on doing was dungeoneering. I just wanted to complete the Up to the Gods achievement. For those of you who don't know what it means, it's basically an achievement in Daemonheim where you have to sacrifice a frost dragon bone on a prayer altar from a dragon you killed yourself in a solo dungeon. But somehow I managed to go 198 medium frozen floors dry on the frost dragon. Bruh. Yup, that's right. The most I've ever heard anyone else go dry was like 20 to 30 dungeons, but I literally went almost 200 dungeons dry. But hey, it got me to 75 dungeoneering, so I'm not complaining, kinda. Last year's Halloween event, Till Death Does Us Part, was also a great way for Ironman to get some free crafting, smithing and summoning XP. It got me those skills as well as Slayer up to level 60 or even 65, so that was a great boost working towards Invention and higher level Slayer. At the moment my Slayer level is 82 and I'm pretty sure almost half of that XP comes from the Dagonaut Kings, or more specifically Dagonaut Rex. As of the time of this video I'm at 1011 Rex KC, and if anyone was wondering, I received 7 Berserker rings, 7 Warrior rings and 3 Dragon hatchets in the process. With a drop rate of 1 in 128 on those hatchets, you could say I'm again not very lucky. Bossing is pretty risky on a hardcore, so I don't plan on doing too much of it until I'm maxed. I'm not the best PVMer and I have to stay alive to accomplish my goal. And I don't consider Dagonauts as bossing, but still, some pretty crazy stuff can happen. So as you can see, I disconnected mid-kill there. I wasn't too stressed when it happened, because I was in a safe spot and I shouldn't be able to take any damage. But still, you never know, there's always a small chance. I could have also disconnected while still running towards the safe spot and exposed to Rex. That would have probably not ended well. These Dagonauts of course provided me with a lot of Dagonaut bones, which I all used at the Ectofuntus to get the maximum amount of experience from them. I just barely got to level 75 prayer from doing this, and it took some time, but I think it was worth it. Since I was not going to risk using the Chaos Altar in the Wildy, and I didn't have my own gilded altar yet. Speaking of which, I did actually manage to get 75 construction for the gilded altar in the recent Christmas event by building and pulling the Christmas cracker at the Grand Exchange. Also at the Christmas event, I spent more than 14 days at the Slave for free summoning XP. Some people may think that events, especially like this one, go against the integrity of an Ironman account, and I agree in a way. Ironman shouldn't be able to get to participate in this stuff, but it would be stupid to exclude myself from doing it when it's available to Ironman, and every other Ironman will also take advantage from it. The last two skills I would like to cover are crafting and smithing. For crafting I did temple tracking. It took some time obviously, but I gathered a little over 14k silver bars to make them all into tiaras later. This got me to level 75, the point where you can start using the harps in Privdinas after completing Plague's End. And that was the first thing I did upon arriving here, straight crafting until level 80. As for how smithing went, I got to level 78 smithing before the mining and smithing update, by collecting coal through miscellanea, transmuting it to mithril ore and then using it at the artisan's workshop. Those final two levels I got after the rework by simply mining and smithing necronium plate bodies. And since I already had 80 divination, invention was unlocked. Here is where I got total level 2000 by gathering energies for invention. Moving on, I've just been doing more quests. Here's a few of the boss fights I recently did. I started recording these in case I would somehow die, or I can let other people see how it went so they could decide if they were ready for it. The first one here is Branches of Dark Mayor, and it was way easier than I had anticipated. I barely had to eat any food, and as you can see in my inventory, I even forgot to put my armor back on throughout the whole fight. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention quests are crazy good for Herblore on an Ironman. Since the beginning I've used every single XP lamp on Herblore, and it got me to level 80 so far. I probably haven't even made 100 potions myself. The next boss fights I've got for you are the 3 from Do No Evil. This is in my personal opinion the most tedious quest of all, but at least the bosses weren't as bad as I remembered. The first and second one were pretty easy, and the third just took a little longer because she's sometimes invulnerable when you have to kill the demon she spawns, while she can still freely damage you, but nothing too concerning overall. Following Do No Evil, I could start on the Menethos quests, which are all pretty short but have interesting bosses. First up, in Crocodile Tears I had to kill this beast. Normally he attacks with both melee and ranged, and he can hit quite hard. Luckily you can deny all melee damage by simply standing on these stairs where he can't reach you at all. And that's one of the 3 done. Next up, Our Man in the North. Also a very short quest with a fun and pretty easy boss fight. Basically this magician clones himself and all clones spawn around you. But one guy is different from the others, that's the real one, so the one you have to attack. Finally, we end things up with Fight Club. This was up to this point definitely the hardest quest boss I've done on the account. During my first attempt even, I could have very easily died. I had my curses on my ability bar, but they were of no use because I had the regular prayers activated for some reason, and it even took me some time to notice it as well. You can see me trying to click on my curses and then panic eating because they were hitting super hard. Luckily I managed to teleport out. The second attempt I didn't bring enough food, so again I had to leave. But as always, the third time's a charm. I took some stats boosting potions and a familiar with extra food, because the Pharaoh has a lot of health, but I managed to defeat him. And that's about it, guys. I hope I didn't go over everything too briefly. but it was quite a lot of progress to cover already, and hard to remember exactly in what order I had to put everything without much footage. So from now on, my big goal is still to max the account by getting all 99s at the same time, and after I'm maxed, I may start to do as much PVM as possible. I'm not very experienced at all when it comes to bossing, but the fact of not being able to die at all makes it so much more interesting and exciting in my opinion. So stay tuned for that in a couple of months probably. I will do my best to record more and update you all more frequently on what I've been up to with actual live commentary on the clips. Oh, there we go, level 90 crafting. If any of you have any feedback or suggestions, please do leave them in the comments. I would love to see what you guys think about this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like rating and subscribe if you're interested in watching more videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!